happiness. It's the ultimate pursuit, right? But what if I told you that everything you think you know about it might be upside down? Imagine waking up tomorrow with a fresh lens on life, where joy isn't a distant dream, but a reality woven into the fabric of your everyday existence. What if the key to true happiness lies not in chasing fleeting pleasures, but in embracing discomfort? Let's dive into some powerful truths that could flip your understanding of happiness on its head. As we unravel these ideas, keep in mind, each one has the potential to challenge your beliefs and reshape your reality. What if I told you that happiness isn't found in what you have, but in who you are? Throughout history, great thinkers have hinted at this, but it's time to connect the dots. And along the way, you might just discover that the obstacles you face are not barriers, but stepping stones to a deeper sense of fulfillment. So let's embark on this journey together and see how these insights can transform your life. Starting right now. 1. Happiness is an internal choice. You know, I've been thinking a lot about happiness lately, and I keep coming back to this idea that happiness is fundamentally an internal choice. It's like the Stoics say, true happiness doesn't hinge on what happens around us. Instead, it's all about how we decide to respond to those events. I mean, think about it. How often do we catch ourselves blaming our happiness on external factors? The job we didn't get, the relationship that didn't work out, or even the weather on a particular day. We give so much power to these outside influences, don't we? But here's the kicker. Our happiness truly lies within our own attitudes and choices. I realize that I can choose how I interpret situations. For instance, if something goes wrong, I can either dwell on it and allow it to ruin my day, or I can choose to see it as a learning opportunity. That shift in perspective is crucial. It's not always easy, but when I remind myself that my state of mind is my own responsibility, I feel a sense of empowerment. It's liberating to know I have the ability to shape my emotional landscape. Moreover, internal happiness is often a practice, not a destination. It requires ongoing effort to cultivate a mindset that prioritizes positivity and contentment. I've started adopting small habits like gratitude journaling to remind myself of what I'm thankful for, even on tough days. This practice helps train my brain to focus on the good, even in challenging circumstances. The more I practice this, the more I find that my overall happiness level has a bounce-back quality. I can recover from setbacks more swiftly. Embracing this philosophy has transformed instead of waiting for external circumstances to align perfectly, I'm learning to be content with what I have right now. There's a certain peace that comes from understanding that I can find joy regardless of what's happening around me. I've even noticed that when I focus on my internal state, I tend to attract more positivity from the outside world. It's like a feedback loop. The happier I feel internally, the more happiness I seem to invite into my life. In the end, this internal choice becomes a powerful tool. It's a reminder that happiness isn't contingent on achieving a specific goal or reaching a certain milestone. Instead, it's about recognizing that joy is a mindset we can cultivate at any moment. By choosing to focus on the internal, I've found a deeper, more sustainable sense of happiness that isn't easily shaken by life's ups and downs. The Stoics had this incredible insight into the nature of control, and I've found it to be immensely helpful. They taught that we should differentiate between what's within our control and what isn't. This distinction is key to managing our emotional reactions and ultimately finding peace. Think about it. How many times do we get worked up over things we can't change? Traffic jams, other people's opinions, unexpected changes in our plans. All these external factors can easily throw us off balance if we let them. What I've learned is that while I can't control the events that happen in my life, I can control my reactions to them. This realization has helped me cultivate a certain calmness. For example, when someone cuts me off in traffic, instead of getting angry, I take a deep breath and remind myself that their actions are out of my hands. I can choose to react with frustration or to let it slide. It's empowering to realize that I hold the reins on how I choose to respond. This focus on reactions also leads to acceptance. Life isn't always going to go according to plan, and that's okay. I've started embracing the idea that every situation, no matter how challenging, is an opportunity for growth. When I encounter setbacks, I ask myself, what can I learn from this? This mindset shift has not only made me more resilient, but has also enhanced my overall sense of well-being. Moreover, I've come to appreciate the peace that comes from acceptance. When I stop fighting against what I cannot change, it frees up mental and emotional energy to focus on the things I can influence. I spend less time stressing over the uncontrollable and more time nurturing my relationships, pursuing my interests, and engaging in activities that genuinely bring me joy. This shift in focus has been transformative. It feels like a weight has been lifted off my shoulders. In essence, understanding the limits of my control has made me more equipped to handle life's unpredictability. By honing in on my reactions and embracing acceptance, I'm not just surviving difficult moments, I'm thriving. It's a constant practice, but every time I remind myself of this Stoic principle, I feel a little more at peace, a little more grounded, and a lot more happy. 2. The value of virtue. Speaking of happiness, I've been diving deep into the Stoic belief that virtue is the only true source of happiness. It's fascinating, really, how practicing virtues like wisdom, courage, justice, and self-control can lead to a more fulfilling life. At first, I thought it all sounded a bit lofty, but the more I reflect on it, the more I see how these principles are embedded in everyday life. Take courage, for instance. We often think of courage as something grand, like facing down a fear or taking a big leap. But it's also about the small daily choices we make. It might be as simple as standing up for what we believe in or being honest in difficult conversations. I realize that every time I act with courage, I not only feel better about myself, but I also build a sense of integrity that contributes to my overall happiness. It's amazing how these small acts can ripple outwards, affecting my mood and outlook on life. Then there's wisdom, which is about making informed decisions. I've tried to embrace a mindset of learning and growth, seeking knowledge from various sources: books, podcasts, conversations with others. Each time I make a decision grounded in wisdom, I feel a sense of satisfaction that comes from knowing I've considered my options thoughtfully. This doesn't mean I won't make mistakes, but I find that the more I prioritize wisdom, the less I regret my choices, leading to a more peaceful state of mind. Justice is another virtue that resonates with me. It's about treating others fairly and with respect. When I focus on being just, I notice a profound impact on my relationships. I feel more connected to those around me, and that sense of community is a huge contributor to my happiness. There's something incredibly rewarding about fostering positive connections through fairness and empathy. Self-control is perhaps the most challenging virtue for me. It requires discipline and the ability to resist immediate gratification for long-term fulfillment. Whether it's in my eating habits, spending choices, or even emotional responses, practicing self-control has taught me that sometimes the things that bring the most satisfaction take time and effort. Each time I exercise self-control, I build a sense of mastery over my impulses, which in turn boosts my self-esteem and overall happiness. In summary, the Stoic approach to virtue has become a guiding force in my life. By integrating these principles into my daily actions, I'm not just aiming for fleeting moments of happiness. I'm cultivating a deeper, more meaningful sense of fulfillment. Living virtuously has shown me that true happiness isn't just about what happens to us, but about the kind of person we choose to be. The more I reflect on life, the more I recognize the importance of accepting impermanence. Everything around us is transient, and that realization can be both daunting and liberating. The Stoics truly understood this concept, teaching that recognizing the fleeting nature of life can help us appreciate the present moment more deeply. I mean, think about it. How often do we get caught up in worrying about the future or lamenting the past, forgetting to savor what's happening right now? For me, embracing impermanence has changed the way I view my experiences. I've started to find joy in the simple everyday moments, like a beautiful sunset or a shared laugh with friends. Knowing that these moments are temporary encourages me to soak them in while I can. It's a reminder to be present, to engage fully with life as it unfolds, rather than getting lost in thoughts about what's next or what could have been. This acceptance also helps ease the fear of loss. I've come to understand that everything I cherish, relationships, experiences, even material possessions, will one day fade. Instead of clinging tightly to them out of fear, I try to appreciate them for what they are in the moment. This shift in mindset has allowed me to enjoy my relationships more fully, knowing that each interaction is precious, even if it's not permanent. Moreover, The realization of impermanence has taught me not to take things for granted. I try to express gratitude more often for the people and experiences in my life. When I acknowledge that nothing lasts forever, I'm more inclined to show appreciation and love while I have the chance. This practice has enriched my relationships and brought a sense of warmth and connection that I previously overlooked. In the grand scheme of things, accepting impermanence helps me to let go of expectations and embrace life as it comes. I've learned that by releasing the need to control outcomes, I can experience a greater sense of peace. Each moment becomes an opportunity to find joy, rather than a hurdle that needs to be overcome. It's a liberating perspective that transforms the way I navigate life's ups and downs, allowing me to appreciate the beauty of simply being present. 3. The importance of reflection and self-analysis. One of the most profound practices I've adopted from Stoicism is the importance of reflection and self-analysis. Taking time to meditate on my actions and thoughts has opened up a new level of understanding about myself. I've realized that without this practice, I might continue to operate on autopilot, reacting to life's events without truly. I've come to realize that virtue is at the heart of what it means to lead a fulfilling life. For the Stoics, it's not just a nice quality to have, it's the only true source of happiness. I remember a time when I was chasing after various external accomplishments, money, recognition, and even fleeting pleasures. It was exhausting, and honestly, it never filled that void I felt inside. The more I achieved, the more I realized that these things are transient. They come and go, but the virtues I cultivate stay with me, shaping who I am at my core. When I think about the virtues of wisdom, courage, justice, and self-control, I realize how each one plays a crucial role in my daily life. Wisdom helps me to make informed decisions, to discern the best course of action in complex situations. Courage allows me to face my fears and step out of my comfort zone, whether it's dealing with personal challenges or standing up for what I believe is right. Justice encourages me to treat others fairly, fostering deeper connections and mutual respect. And self-control? Well, that's what keeps me from indulging in excess or making impulsive choices that lead to regret. I've found that practicing these virtues consistently not only enhances my character, but also cultivates a sense of deep satisfaction. It's a fulfillment that doesn't hinge on what's happening around me. Instead, it's rooted in the knowledge that I am striving to be a better person and to contribute positively to the world. Each small act of virtue, whether it's a kind word to a stranger or a moment of patience in a stressful situation, adds up. It's like building a reservoir of happiness that I can draw from, regardless of external circumstances. Sometimes, I catch myself reflecting on my actions and their alignment with these virtues. It's not always easy, of course. There are days when I falter, when I let frustration or impatience take over. But in those moments, I remind myself that growth comes from recognizing my shortcomings and actively working to improve. The Stoics believe that being virtuous is a continuous journey, not a DD. Each step I take, no matter how small, brings me closer to a life of genuine fulfillment. Ultimately, I've learned that the true joy lies not in the accolades or material possessions, but in the commitment to living a virtuous life. It's a personal compass that guides me through the chaos of life, reminding me of what really matters. Virtue gives me a sense of purpose, a reason to wake up each day, eager to engage with the world meaningfully. And that, I think, is the essence of lasting happiness. 4. The impermanence of things. There's something profoundly liberating about acknowledging the impermanence of life. In today's fast-paced world, it's easy to get caught up in the grind, chasing after things that seem permanent, jobs, relationships, even personal achievements. But the Stoics teach us that everything is transient. Recognizing this truth has helped me to shift my perspective and find joy in the fleeting moments that life of. I remember the first time I truly grasped the concept of impermanence. It was during a simple outing with friends. We were gathered at a park, laughing and enjoying each other's company. Suddenly, I felt a wave of gratitude wash over me. I realized that those moments, those laughs, those shared stories, were not guaranteed to last forever. They were beautiful and precious precisely because they would eventually fade. That realization allowed me to savor every second, to be fully present in a way I had never experienced before. Accepting that everything is temporary encourages me to appreciate the small things, Whether it's a warm cup of coffee on a chilly morning or the vibrant colors of a sunset, I've learned to find joy in the present moment. Instead of waiting for grand events to bring happiness, I now seek out the beauty in everyday life. This shift in mindset has made me more resilient, less prone to disappointment when things don't go as planned. After all, if I understand that even difficult times are temporary, I can navigate through them with a sense of calm and acceptance. Letting go of attachments has also been a significant lesson for me. I used to hold on to expectations tightly, convinced that they were the key to my happiness. But the more I clung to them, the more I found myself disappointed when reality didn't match my vision. Embracing impermanence has helped me to loosen that grip. I now approach life with a sense of curiosity, rather than a rigid set of expectations. This has opened me up to new possibilities and experiences I might have otherwise missed. In the grand scheme of things, understanding the transient nature of life has deepened my appreciation for every moment. It reminds me that life is a series of experiences, both good and bad, and that each one contributes to my journey. By valuing the present and recognizing its fleeting nature, I find myself living more fully, embracing both the joys and challenges that come my way. It's a beautiful balance, and it allows me to cultivate a deeper sense of happiness that is rooted in acceptance rather than attachment. Reflection and self-analysis are not just buzzwords in the realm of personal development. They are essential practices that can lead to profound insights about our motivations and actions. I often find myself caught up in the whirlwind of daily life, moving from one task to another without taking a moment to pause and think. But when I do take that time, even if it's just a few minutes a day, the clarity that comes from it is remarkable. It's in those moments of quiet contemplation that I can step back and assess my choices, actions, and even my emotional responses to various situations. One of the most valuable lessons I've learned through self-reflection is the importance of understanding why I react the way I do. For example, if I find myself frustrated in a meeting, I can take a moment to ask myself, what triggered this reaction? Is it the topic at hand, or is it something deeper, perhaps related to my own insecurities or past experiences? This kind of inquiry has transformed my interactions, allowing me to respond more thoughtfully rather than reacting impulsively. It's fascinating how diving into our own psyche can help us understand not just ourselves, but also the people around us. Another key aspect of reflection is its ability to highlight patterns in our behavior. By regularly analyzing my thoughts and actions, I've been able to identify recurring themes that either propel me toward happiness or pull me away from it. For instance, I notice that I often feel more fulfilled when I engage in creative activities. Yet I sometimes let work obligations overshadow this passion. Recognizing this pattern has empowered me to prioritize creativity in my life, leading to a richer and more satisfying experience. Self-analysis can serve as a mirror, reflecting back not just our successes, but also the areas in need of growth. Moreover, self-reflection is an excellent tool for setting intentions and goals. When I take the time to think about what genuinely brings me joy and fulfillment, I can align my actions with those insights. For example, rather than pursuing a career path that looks good on paper, I can ask myself what truly resonates with my values and aspirations. This alignment between my inner self and outer actions is where I find the most authentic happiness. It's a reminder that I have the power to shape my own path based on the clarity I gain from self-reflection. Finally, the practice of reflection fosters a sense of gratitude and appreciation for life's experiences. Each moment, whether good or bad, becomes an opportunity for learning and growth. I've come to realize that even my mistakes can lead to valuable lessons if I take the time to analyze them thoughtfully. This shift in perspective not only enhances my sense of fulfillment, but also contributes to a more profound sense of peace within myself. In essence, reflection and self-analysis are not just practices. They are fundamental to cultivating a life rich in meaning and joy. When it comes to happiness, the ancient Stoics had it right. Virtue is the cornerstone of a fulfilling life. I often find myself pondering what it means to live virtuously. Is it simply about adhering to a moral code, or is it more about embodying qualities like wisdom, courage, and justice in our everyday lives? I've come to learn that practicing these virtues shapes not just who we are, but also how we experience happiness. When I act with integrity and kindness, I can feel a deep sense of satisfaction that transcends fleeting pleasures. One of the virtues that resonates with me is the idea of wisdom. It's not just about knowledge, but about understanding the world and making informed choices. I've noticed that when I take the time to seek wisdom, whether through reading, conversations, or introspection, I make decisions that align with my values and lead me toward genuine happiness. It's as if wisdom serves as my compass, guiding me through the complexities of life. This pursuit continually enriches my life experience, helping me navigate challenges with grace and resilience. Courage is another virtue that stands out in my journey toward happiness. It's easy to play it safe, to avoid discomfort, but I've realized that true growth often requires stepping outside my comfort zone. Whether it's having difficult conversations or pursuing new opportunities, embracing courage has allowed me to expand my horizons and discover new facets of myself. I've learned that when I take risks guided by my values, I often find a deeper sense of fulfillment, as if I'm living more authentically. Justice, too, plays a vital role in my happiness. It's about treating others with fairness and respect, but it's also about advocating for what is right. When I engage in acts of kindness or stand up for the underprivileged, I experience a profound sense of connection to the world around me. It's a reminder that my actions can have a ripple effect, contributing to a more just society. This alignment between my values and actions not only strengthens my character, but also enriches my sense of belonging. Lastly, the virtue of self-control is crucial in cultivating long-lasting happiness. In a world filled with distractions and temptations, practicing self-control allows me to prioritize what truly matters. I've found that when I resist instant gratification and focus on long-term goals, I feel a more enduring sense of satisfaction. This discipline is not about denying myself pleasure. Rather, it's about understanding the difference between fleeting joys and lasting happiness. In essence, embracing virtue isn't just a philosophical concept. It's a practical guide to living a life. 5. The impermanence of things. One of the most striking lessons I've learned from Stoicism is the acceptance of impermanence. Life is an ever-changing tapestry, woven with threads of joy and sorrow, success and failure. Understanding that nothing lasts forever has profoundly shifted my perspective. I've come to appreciate the fleeting nature of experiences, recognizing that each moment is precious and worthy of my full attention. This realization has helped me cultivate gratitude for the present, rather than fixating on what may or may not come in the future. When I embrace the idea of impermanence, I find that I'm more open to experiencing joy in everyday moments. Whether it's enjoying a cup of coffee on a quiet morning or relishing a sunset, I'm learning to savor life's simple pleasures. This mindset transformation has allowed me to stop waiting for the right moment to be happy, and instead find contentment in the here and now. It's liberating to know that I can create happiness from the present, regardless of external circumstances. Moreover, accepting impermanence has also changed how I handle challenges and setbacks. Rather than viewing obstacles as insurmountable, I've learned to see them as temporary hurdles along my journey. This shift in perspective has made me more resilient, allowing me to bounce back from difficulties with a renewed sense of purpose. I no longer get bogged down by the weight of failure. Instead, I recognize it as part of the ebb and flow of life, understanding that each experience contributes to my growth. The transient nature of life also encourages me to let go of attachments that no longer serve me. I've found that clinging to past relationships, possessions, or even expectations can lead to dissatisfaction and disappointment. Learning to release these attachments has been liberating. I can appreciate what was without being weighed down by it. This practice of letting go has opened up space for new experiences and connections, enriching my life in unexpected ways. Ultimately, the acceptance of impermanence fosters a deeper appreciation for life's beauty. I've learned to find joy not just in the big milestones, but also in the everyday moments that often go unnoticed. Each day becomes an opportunity to cherish what is, rather than lament what was or worry about what might be. This perspective has nurtured a profound sense of peace within me, allowing me to navigate life's ups and downs with grace and gratitude. As we wrap up this journey through the 5 truths that can transform our view on happiness, let's take a moment to reflect. Imagine how your life could change if you truly embrace the idea that happiness is not found in external circumstances, but within. What if you shifted your focus from what you lack to the abundance that already surrounds you? Remember, it's not the events in our lives that dictate our happiness, but our reactions to them. So, What will you choose to focus on today? Are you ready to challenge those ingrained beliefs that have held you back? Dive deep into your thoughts and ask yourself, what truly matters to you? Let's put these truths into action. Share your experiences in the comments below. How will you apply these insights to your daily life? And don't forget, happiness is a journey, not a destination. If you found value in these ideas, hit that like button and subscribe for more content that empowers you to live a fulfilling life. Your perspective can shift today, so why wait? Join me next time as we delve deeper into the wisdom of Stoicism and explore more ways to cultivate lasting joy. See you in the next video.